Yo, what is good, everybody? What is good, yo? Ah, this is so refreshing. All of these crazy, interesting, dope animes that we're getting. I did not expect so much to um, remind me of shows that I not even necessarily like seen. Some of them that I haven't seen in a long time and other shows just being that um like I didn't get to finish some of them because they never ended, and some of these characters are really giving me vibes of those characters that are kind of in the shadow realm of having more episodes. So Radiance is pretty much an anime where it's the opposite of Fairy Tail, pretty much. Like sorcerers are hated, and if people are afraid of them because of the power that they wield. Um, Not only that, the people who seemingly look up to them for help or whatever would be the same people to throw those sorcerers under the bus in this world, and seemingly they have uh, on a good authority to hate everybody and be some type of way. But at the end of the day, it draws a really good narrative of where it's already kind of headed towards. It feels like, and I'm not saying this as like, oh man, they took this idea from them and it's just a carbon copy. No, I'm saying that the vibe that they're building gives this type of vibe from another show, but in its own unique way, and that show being Naruto with the Nine-Tailed Beast. Imagine how everybody felt about Naruto using the Nine-Tailed Beast's actual power as his own, thinking that he can't control it or something along those lines, and then boom bam, it becomes the ultimate power that everybody needed. So it feels like that is a type of situation they've already set up in the sense of this kid is even more than a sorcerer because he has these demon horns that are like straight up always showing out of his head as of lately. And no one's even like questioned it, or if people have questioned it, it's probably, when back when he was a kid and people were just being rude to him and didn't understand like his intentions or something along those lines. I guess we're gonna see a flashback to people asking about his horns. But we kind of have this really dope role model in his master, Alma, I believe that's how you say it. But she is a sorcerer that has been fighting something called the Nemesis that even she believes to this day is the main reason why humans, or I don't even want to say humans because I feel like there might be sub creatures in this world, and with there being not sub creatures, excuse my French, all the demi-humans out there, um, that the demi-humans are probably more accepting of sorcerers because they have unusual powers themselves, and sorcerers seemingly are the people that master those types of abilities for their own use, and seemingly they use them for good from what we can see, but that's where I'm kind of like getting with the narrative of how they're telling this story already is it feels like they're going to introduce those wizards or those sorcerers that give all sorcerers very bad names, and maybe that's why we'll understand both sides even better because right now you're really just on the sorcerer side. I mean, this woman straight up fights for people by herself against these nemesis that are clearly just like huge monsters. And from what we see in this week's episode from the one, which I think it might be a weaker one than the usual because it did just hatch. So I could only imagine if this thing had some time to age and stuff like that, we'd be looking at a huge difference in its potential of damage that it does. But from what we saw, the strongest nemesis, or not even the strongest nemesis, the scariest looking nemesis that Alma fought against, which I think she had two arms when she did it, or she knows how to cast a spell to make it seem as if she has two arms or something. I kind of missed that because I was too busy reading. I should have probably watched this episode twice before doing this review, which I usually do. But either she removes her arm after everything is said and done, where everybody shows their hatred towards the um, sorcerers, or she pretty much had like some magic up and she undid it to make it show what her arm really looked like. And I believe that she might have lost that arm saving him when we see in the flashback that she's been fighting this nemesis pretty much by herself and for quite a bit of time. Seeing her ability to stop all of these raging cows that our character Seth, our main character Seth, uh, did a Titan punch, which it kind of reminds me of Yuna and the Hot Springs, where this kid is pretty much just putting it all into his fist and swinging really hard, and that's pretty much his ability. And then he gave it a name, which is still dope in my opinion. So I'm not even hating on it. So really interested to see how this show is reviewed. I'm not really sure on where the source material actually goes in the sense of is he losing friends? Is people dying because of his mistakes? Is he someone that learns from his mistakes? I don't know any of that stuff, and I think that's why this anime is gonna be definitely very fun for me to watch. Uh, Knowing that they have some awesome, awesome animation, first off, and secondly, the characters are very funny and seemingly relaxed. He reminds me of the main character of a Hunter x Hunter with his uh, free go free lucky like attitude. Like he doesn't really see any danger in anything until he learns about that danger firsthand, like the Nemesis, for instance. I don't think he would ever think humans are dangerous because of the experiences he's had with them as of now, until he maybe has some different types of experiences. And I think where I'm going to leave this review off of is one of the quotes that were said or that was written out in this in the beginning of the show is you are not a human. You are not born a human. You become a human. And when I first thought about that and seeing the kid, I kind of understood where they were probably going with that. These people who aren't sorcerers treating sorcerers as if they're not human when they're doing the most humane thing ever by using a power that they don't even have to use for these other people who are defenseless. They don't have to come and save them, but they do. That's the most human thing that's maybe, you could do. And I think that's a one of the another lesson that this show is already kind of drifting into, which I can appreciate if that's what they're going for. But let me know what you guys think. If you guys are manga reviewers and you know kind of where this story goes, make sure you put a spoiler warning if you are going to let me know about like just how people feel or how maybe the future of this show is looking because it looks like we're getting a lot of different characters to pick between of who's cool and who has very strong abilities and different and stuff like that. So there's a lot of variety, and um, they're all like pretty likable characters. I could see the show doing amazing just by looks and just by their reactions and characters in general. Very enjoyable first episode. I would love to see someone think negative of this show, really, because if you could point out a lot of negatives that you didn't like, I probably could prove or, tell you my opinion that this is very, very good and you can't get much better than this on your first episode of a show that you're kind of setting the terms and you're setting the world, you're setting the character, and you're setting the plot all in one episode, and it seemingly got done quite nicely. So With that, everybody, I hope you guys have a good night, morning, evening, whenever you watch this video. Thank you so much for the support and the subscribes. It means so much to me. I'm trying to get another channel off the ground and, in the spotlight, but with losing one and trying to make a new one, it's rough, but having any type of support means the world to me. So I will talk to you in the next one. If you guys are interested in the channel, make sure you subscribe. I will be posting so much very soon that it's actually crazy. And when I do get breaks, I'm going to enjoy them. For now, everybody, I will talk to you in the next one. All right, peace.